Start.
Go ahead, please.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to Interactive Sukhmani Sahib Ji session. We have covered 19 out of 24 Ashpadis so far. We are on, I think we covered 5th Padas from 20th Ashpadi. So we'll continue our discussion from there. Before we start, I'll recite a few of the sloks from the Ashpadis we have already covered. Then we'll resume our discussion. Satnam Shri Vaheguru Sahib Ji Adi Gure Namah Jugad Gure Namah Sat Gure Namah Shri Guru Dev Namah Agama Gadha Par Brahm Soe Jo Jo Kahay So Mukta Hoye Sunmita Nanak Binvanta Sadhe Jana Ki अचरज कथा तजो स्यानप सुरजनो सिमरहो हर हर राय एक आस हर मन रखो नानक दुख परम पाओ जाए रूप ना रेख ना रंग किछ त्रह गुण ते प्रभ पिन तिसे भुजाए नानका जिस होवै सुप्रसन्न सतपुरख जिन जानिया सतगुर तिसका नाम तिसके संग सिख उधरै नानक हर गुण गाओ साथ न चाले बिन भजन बिख्या सगली छार हर हर नाम कमावना नानक एहो तन सार. So 19 Ashpadis. If you just look at the sequence of how the shloks are, and we have looked into all the details of what padas, what is the message in each, how well it progresses for a path for a seeker at every level. For a seeker who is a beginner seeker, or the seeker who is, पिछली बार question आया ना पहुंचे हुए, right? Even that Sukhmani Sahib Ji is there for guiding at all levels of seekers, right? In the beginning, there is all of this communication to us about how useful it is for a seeker to just do the Naam Simran, right? And then it comes about how to do Naam Simran. Then there are examples of all the Pagats, the Lachan, the Pagats, Brahmgyani, the different kinds of terms and terminologies used for the people on that path who have achieved that, who have realized, right? Oh, sab bare das ke. Then in the last three, we can just go over 3 to 4 Ashpadis, what we are coming across. There's an explanation very, very nicely trying to describe to this mind what is that one and only divine we are talking about, right? 17 Ashpadi tells about that one divine, Aaj Sach Jugad Sach, Hai bhi Sach Nanak Usi bhi Sach. Then in the 18th Ashpadi, he starts telling what the need of Satgur. We need Satgur to get to that, to get that Naam, to get to that state of that emancipation. Says, Tiske sang sikh udhre Satguru. And then it's again back to us what we should be doing, what we shouldn't be doing, what is this mortal, this human does, and then keep reassuring us, Saath na chale bin bhajan bikhya sagli chhar. Right, Nanak har har naam kamavna hi uthansar. And then in the 20th Aspadi, there's this benti, right? Firat firat prab aya. It's a realization almost for a seeker that yes, there is something beyond what I know. There's a spiritual path, and it's recognition that I have come to you now. Oh Vaheguru, I've come to you. Nanak ki prabinti. And then the path, it says, Apni Pagti Lai. It says that the path that always in Gurbani is the Pagti and the Naam, right? So there's a benti to Vaheguru. I've come wandering around. Now, can you have that grace on me that I can devote every moment to you. We were talking about what is true bhakti. Right? So I will continue from the sixth pada. I'll recite that first. You can recite on your mute, and then we'll discuss the meanings. Upji preet prem ras chao, man than antar hi suao. नेत्रों पेख दरस सुख होए, मन बिगसै साध चरण तोए. भगत जना के मन तन रंग, बिरला को पावे संग. एक बस्त दीजै कर मया, गुरु प्रसाद नाम जप लया. ताकि उपमा कही न जाए, नानक रहया सर्ब समाए. So it's been describing about the state of a pagat, the Pagti Mangde, in this Ashpadi. And then it's describing what is that pagat. What is that pagat asking for? What do those pagats have, right? Who are already on that. It says, Upji preet prem ras chao, man tan antar ihi swao. Upji, it has, welled up. It says, it rose within you, right? Preet, love, preet prem, so one thing. Ras chao, upji preet prem ras chao. This all this love, affection. There's a yearning which has come within. Mantan antar ihi swav. And the mind, the body, all they yearn for the one thing. They have only one ask, swav, one yearning for that Vaheguru, for that bhakti of Vaheguru. That's the state of a bhagat. Netro pek daras sukh hoye. And then that bhagat, he's seeing with his own eyes, he's seeing that darshan, that darshan of that Vaheguru. So literal meaning, netron pek daras sukh hoye. Apne netra naal dekh ke darshan, the blessed vision, is getting peace. Man biksay sadh charan toye. The mind is full of bliss, bigsraya, is in ecstasy. Sadh charan toye, by washing the feet of the holy person. That's the state of a bhagat. Right? He's able to see that. He's able to see that one divine everywhere, right? Because then the questions come, how do you see that, right? And then there's also, we discuss Sadh Charantoy, and then yes, there's a literal meaning of finding a person who is enlightened, washing their feet, and Guru Granth Sahib Ji tells it has, and in all spirituality, it has a big blessing. Right? Sadh, there's a bliss by being in the company of that holy. Pagat jana ke man tha nirang, birla ko pave sang. Says that those pagat, those who are devotees, who have accepted that, who have realized it, and they are on that path, they are the pagats. What is happening there? Kya manata ne rang, they always imbued, range hoye hain. They're always imbued with that love. Their minds and bodies are always imbued with that love. And then it says, Birla ko pave sang. This is reality. There are very few who are able to get the company of that Pagas. And throughout Gurbani and Sukhmani Sahib we read, right? Through the company of such beings is what it becomes. You get connected. That's your medium to Sangat, through those who have already reached. Right? And it says, Birla ko pave sang. They're rare, Birla. Jere sang pande who get the company. Then ek bas dijay, give me one thing, bastu, grant me one thing, dijay, give me, karmaya, kindness, your benevolence, your grace. Have your grace on me, give me one thing. Gur Prasad, Naam Jap Laya. By Guru's grace, I should be able to chant the Naam. That's what the ask is. And then whenever there is this thing about the Naam through Guru's grace and through Satguru, right? I should be that may I chant the Naam by Guru's grace. That's what I am asking for you. Oh Maya Kar Merite, right? That kindness I want from you. Taki upma kahi na jaye, Nanak rahya sarab samay. Says upma is the praises, vadiyai, the glory. It cannot be. You cannot be. You're not able to say kahi na jaye, keh nahi sakte. It's beyond what we can say. We cannot describe the praises. Nanak rahya sarab samay. That one being, sarab samay, who is rahya, who is there, pervading, who's contained everywhere. So we'll go through, I think, the next two padas and we'll open up for discussion. There is on the chat, there's a message, I'll just repeat it, I think, from Kulvinderji, that there's a Yuva City Nagar Kirtan. And I didn't know it was going to be there. I thought maybe they'll, yeah, and then within pandemic restrictions, I think it is there. That is good to know. Last year it didn't happen. Let's continue. Prabhu Bakshand Deen Dayal Bhagat Vachal Sada Kirpal Anath Nath Gobind Gopal Sarab Katal Karat Pratpal Ad Purakh Karan Kartar Bhagat Jana Ke Pran Adhar Jo jo japai so hoye puneet Bhagat paaye lave man heet Hum nirg niyar neech ajan Nanak tumri saran purakh Bhagavan. So in this pada is describing about how that Vaheguru, that Paramatma is taking care, that Prabhu of his bhagats, and how he loves his bhagats, right? Prabhakshand Deen Dayal. He said that God, that Vaheguru, it's his God. Yeah, right? Bhakshan, he's always forgiving. Bhakshand, Bhakshanwala, that's his nature. That's his nature at the level of what humans can do, right? The Deen Dayal, for the poor, Deen Garib. There's always giving kind to the poor. That's his nature. Bhagat Vachal Sada Kirpal. Vachal is love overflowing. That Bhagat Vachal. He loves, he has so much love for his Bhagats, those who have aligned and recognized, have aligned with him, recognize him. Sada Kirpal, he's always Kirpal, merciful to them. The grace flows, his grace flows through them. He needs somebody to show his grace flowing. Piछली बार कोई कहता से ना पहुंचे हुए कौन होते हैं, right? And just thinking that the one line, and I think I described it in many words, but I think the one line to describe the पहुंचे हुए in every field is through whom the grace flows. And in your life also, you can see sometimes when you recognize some grace is flowing, thank yourself and thank that Vaheguru that you have recognized, right? Bhagat Vachal Sada Kirpal is always merciful to them, that grace always flows through them. Anath Nath Gobind Gopal, Sarab Kata Karat Pratpal. Many ways of describing Anath, Nath. Anathan are those who have nobody. He's the Nath, he's the master of those. Gobind, Gopal. These are the words in Purans from many civilizations, right? Gobind, the god of the universe. The earth in one of the Puranas is called Go, right? And it comes in the form of the cow. But anyway, so it's called the one who protects is Gopal, Palanwala, to that universe, to everyone. It's basically, it's a god of that universe, the sustainer of the world. It's a good translation. Sarab Kata Karat Pratpal. Sarab Kata, cut which at every heart, Hirde which. Sarab, everyone's cut which cut. Kata is used in Gurbani for Hirde which, right? Cut which, cut the antarjami, right? Sarab Kata, for all beings inside, right? Karat Pratpal karta hai. He's nourishing. He's taking care of them. That's the qualities of that Vaheguru. Ad Purak Karan Kartar. He is Ad Purak. From Ad, from the mud, from before even time. Ad Purak. Rakhya, health to Rakhya, Purak. Narak to Rakhya karan wala. That's the right word. He's the Purak, who's Rakhan wala, Karan, he's Karan Kartar, he's the creator of the creation. He's the Karan wala. Pagat Jana ke Pran Adhar, and he's the one who is a Pran Adhar, the every breath of life, the support of their life, of their breath for the Pagat Jan. That's how they see him. It's very important because it is in their seeing, it's in the seeing of that Bhagats, right? In that Tragun te Prabhu, that Prabhu is pain from that Tragun, from Maya. And most of the time, Gurbani is trying to tell us that we pay too much attention to it. We detach, we are separated because of our own, what we do. That Pagajana have that one focus, their life support, Pran Adhar, is that one divine. They don't mistake untruth or mithya or Maya for anything, right? They can recognize it. Jo jo jape so hoye puneet, pagat paye lave man heet. Whoever meditates on that one divine, jape, meditates, so hoye puneet, they become pure. They become pure like him. They become more and more connected to him, right? They vibrate with that purity, not with that filth, which is also described, right? Pagat paye lave man heet. Man heet, focus nal pura mind focus nal. They tell their mind to love the bhakti. They focus their mind or tell their mind to focus to love bhakti. It's effort. Pagat paye lave man heet, manu samjha ke, manu focus kara ke. They tell to love that bhakti. Says hum nirgunyar neech ajan. Says, after knowing all of this, we are like without any of the gun virtues in that spiritual world, right? We are not able, we are ajan, we are ignorant, we are niche, we are lowly. We don't even know, we're not even aware. Hum nirgunyar, it's an acceptance to humbleness. Nanak tumri saran purakh bhagwan. He says, I come to, oh Nanak, I come to tumri saran. I come to your sanctuary. Purakh bhagwan, you supreme God, you sustainer, you protector God. I'm coming to your sanctuary. So that's describing about how Bhagats are, then describing about that primal being. And then this is how they end the eighth pada of the 20th Ashpadi. Let's recite that and then we'll open for discussion. Sarv Vaikuntha Mukat Mokh Pai Ek Nimakh Har Ke Gun Gaye Anik Raj Bhog Badai हर के नाम की कथा मन पाई बहु भोजन का पर संगीत रसना जपती हर हर नीत पली सो करनी शोभा तनवंत हृदय बसे पूरन गुरुमंत साध संग प्रभु देहो निवास सर्ब सुख नानक परगास. So at the end of this patha, there is a benti again to give me the company of the holy. And throughout the pada, it's describing, what about that state of that bhagats, about the state of those beings also who can remember that truth, that Vaheguru, that existence, that one divine, right? In terms of that worldly existence, right? That says Sarab Baikunt Mukhat Mokh Paye Ek Nimak Harike Gun Gaye. Sarab Baikunt, there's all heavens which are there. Mukat, liberation. Mokh, Mukat Mokh, same. Liberation, salvation, Paye. Ek Nimak Harike Gun Gaye. Such beings who are able to sing the glories of that true one divine, who can connect even for an instant. In that world of existence of heavens and mukti and also everything, they can get everything. Those who have connected even for an instant to that one divine. Ek nimak har ke gun kai, jisne usne gun gale na, ik wari, ik nimak vaste vi. They obtained Sarab Vaikunt Mukat Mukpai. That's what Krupani says. Anik Raj Bhog Badiyai, Har ke naam ki katha man pai. So what's the literal meaning is just Anik Raj, so many varieties of Raj, kingdom, Bhog, you can consume all, you get to consume all kind of pleasures. Vadiyai, you can get all kind of glory. That's the literal meaning, that Har ke naam ki katha man pai, if into your mind, truly you are, to your mind, it's pleasing to your mind that you're listening, you're contemplating on Vaheguru's Naam. Because it actually means that if you have accepted that, you have come to listen to it, that means there's a realization within. You're trying to find more. And then the rest of the things he said, like we talk in the other pathas we were trying to, the rest of the things just come align with you, right? Everything around you, the nature and the things, the Maya, it all likes to come to you, right? When you are in connection with that one divine, that one reality, that one, when you're living this in connection with the universe, then universe does work for you, right? You are already with it, because the reality of your existence is a bliss. Right? That's what Gurbani tells. The reality of this janam, this existence of a human, is to attain that. That's your right. Baho pojan kapar sangeet, rasna japti har har neet. Baho pojan, bade sare pojan, kapar, kapde, sangeet, music. That's also a requirement to the body, to the existence. Right? Rasna japti har har neet. If with your tongue you're continually chanting har har, that name of that Vaheguru, neat, every time. Pali so karni, sobha tanvant, hirday base puran gurmant. Such people. This is describing what comes to how the whole world, the whole universe aligns to do good to such beings. Then it describes what do. Their pali so karni, their actions are always good. Shobha tanvant, they're full of glory, full of wealth. Hirday base puran gurmant, those who have in their heart, vasda hai, it's imbued in there, it's residing in there, puran gur, pure gurda mantar, which is a naam. And that's very big, important. Pura, puran, the one paripuran, Satguru, puran guru we keh dene Satguru, right? Puran gurmant, the perfect guru's word, mantar, naam, whatever you call it. Jis de hirday cho vasta, right? Sad sang, prab deho nivas. This acknowledgement in this whole Bani, right? Through Satguru, through Sad Sangat is when you can have a glimpse of that. Prab deho nivas, then there's a beinti here. Give me nivas, rehna, so I can stay there. I can reside there. Give me a home, give me a place in the company of the holy. It says, Sarab Sukh Nanak Pargas. It says, all that Sukh, जिस तरह मर्जी translate कर लो, that peace will be revealed. The true peace, the true bliss will be revealed. You'll be enlightened with that in the company of holy. So somebody's trying to tutor here. I think if we can stop that. I think so. I was trying to clear the tootling here. Okay, so I think we can do the vichar on this three padas we did. Any comments, any questions? Anybody wants to add anything? Or open for discussions? Paulji, Tarji. Okay, I don't know if is anybody trying to speak, or I'm not able to hear. Avtar, do you want to add something too?
It's very clear, I think.
We'll move on.
Very general message of Gurbani is. I'm sorry, these phones keep ringing.
Avtarji, you can unmute, please.
Hanji, we shall.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think one thing you can do vichar on these power, pleasures, and great glories. These are all the demands of the ego. So the question is, does the Gurbani satisfy all these demands and give real power, pleasures, and glories the way we understand in this material world? Or I think it's more saying that what you cannot get from worldly power, worldly pleasures, and worldly glories, Bani gives a higher level of uh, accomplishment or achievement than worldly power, pleasures, and great glories. I know in translation it says you get all this, as if one chants the name, they will get power, like they will become president of the country. They will get pleasures, that they will get everything they want, money, wealth, power, and glories. So it's misinterpreted probably mostly in general translation that you get these worldly things when you chant the name.
Right. I think that's what the way it's interpreted and way it's just told and received. But there is one clear acknowledgement. I think what Gurbani is also bringing our attention to a fact that this is what, as humans, we go after. And it's trying to tell us, stop going after, do the Naam Japna, these things will come after you. If you, and it, at many places, Gurbani also tells us, once you are connected to that one Naam, right, when divine, right, then these things, first of all, they don't matter. But the other thing is they actually come and fall at your feet too. And then it's acknowledged there that, the whole nature, this whole world, they are all waiting for this human to get enlightened. And they are trying to do that, right? So basically, Gurbani says this also to tell us, to first of all, make us realize this is where we go after. So stop paying that much attention to it. Understand that just by living this life, by being in connection with that divine, in Naam, these things will come to you, right? Don't waste. That is the main thing. But I think that's, and there is so many examples of people who start aligning themselves in the right direction on the path, and they start realizing too that the life around them becomes easy too. The things around them start to become easy. It's as if everything is helping them to go towards that bliss, to live that. And if whatever they need, whatever in their surroundings happens, that can be anything. Maybe the need is that they need to take care of the country and become president. That can also happen. So, but that's a part. But like you said, I think the more is to give us the awareness that we shouldn't like over attend all of this, because this can come. This is something you should take for granted. Bar bar tai Gurbani vich aanda hai na ki whatever you will need will come to you, right? So just don't worry about those things mainly.
You also mentioned that even if one connects to the Creator, even for a fraction of a second, is that connection, is that our efforts, or is that Malik's grace? Because, Naam Japan wala bhi hoye to Japan wala bhi hoye. How does one get that moment, that bliss, that state? Because, even the whole lifetime, if one gets even for a moment, basically, then you're truly connected. Then that's abundant. You have everything in your life. And the other place, Babaji Bani, it also shows like there are different levels, right? Just up to the third stage, it's all Ana Jana, Dunya Dek, Maya, this and that. But Malik is saying, I want to take you to the fourth stage. Chauthi stage is pahunch jaoge, utthe fir Ana Jana kam khatam ho janda hai before reaching the fifth stage, which is Malik Dakar. So maybe you can share something more on that with us.
Yeah. So grace and the effort. Grace is always there. Effort is ours. to realize that grace. Why that Guru's grace, it says Gur Prasad, that's always there. And then Gurbani is trying to tell us, awaken us to the reality that we are not attending to it. We are not aware of what we are doing. We need to be aware of what we are doing, and we need to be on the path. Right? That is called the japna. That's called the alignment, Simran Karna. Oh, effort. And to get to that state where you said, oh, Param, Chautha Phad, right? Tragun, and there is Tragun. That's those exist. There's no levels to it. Those things are all existing. It says the Chautha Phad you experience when you're above all of these. And it's trying to just tell you, these are the steps. The first Naam Japna is when you start to realize your inner self through the Naam Japna, through practices, and there are many different practices in many different spiritual and spiritualities and the religions, right? So that's the Naam Japna, and then slowly there are people who get it, who get to understand it, who connect, and then they can live their whole life. And then they live their, not even they live their whole life in connection, but like there's all this Janam Maran and all, right? They even are beyond that, right? And so yeah, there's one Asadiva, right? It's the whole Gurbani thing. We just try to understand, read it once. Oh, there's so many answers in so nice way. Asadiva talks about, and there are 3 or 4 places it talks about buad, weed. It's like this human, this average mortal, it says, is living the life like that, where there are many masters. There's no one gardener. He says that in the Asadivar, I've taken that example. I think I have to see where it is. I put that there. I wanted to share in one of the, I think this I really wanted to give this example in context of one of the questions which was asked, right? So it's telling how an average person who is unaware is living, right? It says, Nanak Guru na chetni man apne suchet. Man apne suchet. You are after your mind. Don't go too much into this translation. You are after your mind, but you're not thinking. Your mind and yourself has not yet realized that you need somebody to tell you beyond what you can see and feel, right? You have to realize that. So chute til buad jyo sunje andar khet. That's a very important part. It says, like in a field where there is weeds, right? That buad, the scattered sesame, jehdi kheti hundi hai na, kheti vich jive wo buad lagya hunda hai na. He says, they are just left abandoned like that. Right? We talk about these souls and this spirituality and all. There's so many of them out there. Jinhon nu koi jagah nahi hegi. They are all abandoned. It says, kheta andar chutya kaho nanak sao nah. If you're without that naam, that connection, you don't have any control. You have a soul, your mind. There's no control you have. There can be hundreds of things which are trying to pull you. This 100 masters are there. You have to please them, who are pulling you to all different directions. Stress, why, right? All of those things, right? That thoughts, that why, that mind thing, which keeps happening. Says, you can keep living this life. Falye, fulle, bapde. You can keep doing, bearing fruit, flower, whatever, such weeds. But what worth is it? That's what is called that Janam Maran da ged fir mukta nahi hai. Right? And that is the power of Qurbani. That's the power of coming in connection with the Satguru. Right? It says, or just any kind of that spiritual, there's a guru, right? That's the one who, it's a in the beginning we said, right? That's the one which comes and awakens you to that reality. Fir oh ik nimak wala uthe aa janda hai, right? Ik nimak har ke gun gaye. Once you have that true connection to that, ik wari vi ho, ik namak vaste vi, you are able to connect to that. That means you have realized it. And after that, you might have to live through the karmas, everything you are doing. But when the time comes, when you have to, that realization will never go away. It's always with you. Right?
But
It's
ik nimak is such a powerful comment and statement. वो एक निमक जेड़ा आना है, फिर एक तरफ गुरु दी कृपा नाल आना है, ते जेड़ा एफर्ट करना है, वो लगदा कि बंदा कर रहा है, कराओ ही रहा है, करन वाला भी वही हो है, ते मैं कौन है आदविष्कार, क्योंकि मेरे हाथ है नहीं कि वो कनेक्शन हो सके.
No. I mean, I think this line is not saying that. Yeah, there are other lines कि ने कृपा होगी, तो किन्ने एक निमक हर के गुण गाए. You with full love, it's been talking about Pao, Bhagat, love, imbued with full love, accept it and then praise him.
Okay.
Oh, Vahiguru, Kehna, Vahiguru, wow, you're just praising. But are you really praising? Man ke praise kitta hai? That's that ik nimak wala manna kehna hoya na. Je man ke kar liya, you have accepted it already. That's that one nimak. Says, but what happens is that one nimak happens to us. Why we do kirtan, we listen to kirtan. There might be a moment where we actually have the real glimpse. It's almost like once in a while, everybody remembers they had some intuition. But then we forget how it happened. It's almost like that. And everybody has those kind of experiences. Oh, main to socha siga, idda hi ho gaya. Oh, I was thinking of you, you are here. No, when you're on Satguru path, there's no coincidence. Right? So you are connected. And that's that nimak. But that nimak will also come when you're doing it. You know, oh karan vichi hoega. When you don't even have attention towards it, that attention comes to it when you are listening, when you saw, like it says, Sa Sangat Prabdhyo Nivas. That attention, first the attention has to come, and then that true focus also comes. And right. How do you, one more comment, we are not aware, right, of that spiritual, what's happening. It's actually also talking about that, how maybe we are not aware what we did, right? We are not aware what happened. And that's very true. That's true about that Board example too. Who all is pulling you, who all is making you do things. Right? The awareness, Ani, is a one path, and going on, accepting and going on that path by realizing that there's something else is a separate thing. Right? Kai karde hain, kai awareness nal karde hain. Those are two different things also.
Yeah, consciously aware hoke karna is definitely a very different one, and that's a hard one. Kyunki muh to kare jaye, path bhi kar lo, sun bhi lo, par bilkul consciously aware hoke lagana dhyan us jagah hote hai. It's a different spectrum completely. Avtar ji, your thoughts?
ओए जे ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸੀ ਜੇ ਹਉਮੈ ਪਾਠ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, if the home is doing the part, that means it's like a clouded skies already. And there is actually, I'm not going to tell science here, actually what happens, part under home increases the home. कई भगत जेड़े you can see कई अपने हिस्ट्री विच इदां आंदा है, रावण ही सीगा, रावण was the biggest bhagat of Shiva, but under home his bhakti became inflated, his ego to the point जिद्दां ऋषि श्राप दे दिंदे सी, याद है किन्नियां कहानियां कि किन्ने ऋषि मुनि इन्नी पावर आ गई उन्हां दे, their ego got inflated to infinity कि ਚੱਕ ਕੇ ਸ਼ਰਾਪ ਦੇ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ, ਇੰਨਾ ਗੁੱਸਾ ਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਸੀ. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੈਸੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੈਥੋਲੋਜੀ ਦੇਖੋ, ਸ਼ਿਵ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਗੁੱਸਾ ਸੀ, ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਦਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਸਿਰ ਕੱਟਤਾ। So, but Gurbani clearly says ਕਿ ਜਦ ਤੱਕ ਉਹ ਹਉਮੈ dissolve ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ, that is the cloud on the awareness. So it's a simultaneous thing. As haume dissolves, the clouds go away and the blue skies appear. The awareness appears as the clouds of haume dissolve. So the blue skies of the awakening and light get automatic. So it's a simultaneous thing. During mukho muh naal japan naal ਉਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ dissolve. It actually it could increase the ego. ਬੰਦਾ ਰੋਜ਼ ਕਹੇ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਜੀ 3 ਵਾਰੀ ਰੋਜ਼ ਪਾਠ ਕਰਦਾ, 5 ਵਾਰੀ ਨਮਾਜ਼ ਪੜਦਾ, that is an ego. And it actually taking you away from the realization and awakening. And that's what most of us, that's what happens. All our life, we do more and more and more of these rituals, and it keeps on increasing the ego to the point, banda kenda, oh, main inna kuch kita, fir bhi kuch nahi hoya. So that's the awareness is the key.
So Guru Nanak, Gurbani, there's a subtle difference between, like you gave the example of the bhakti. They always say, whenever you do these rituals or practices, this is towards that one divine. Or ik da naam leke karna. Other things are also siddhis and all. They can do for some shakti, some power. That's that bhakti. Gurbani very clearly says, right? Ik sansari ik pandari kalai divan. Oh, vekhi ona nadar na ave bahota hai bidan. Says, acknowledges all of these powers have been attained by those beings who were there in those civilizations, but they're saying they were not connected with that one divine. They were not connected. They could acquire, and that is the mahima of bhakti. Jis paase lag gaye bhakti karke na siddhi bhi prapat kar li, power bhi prapat kar li. Guru Nanak is saying, go udhar lago, go towards that oneness, that one divine. So that's the message there. And so what is important, what I think I'll re-emphasize what Dr. Arij is saying, when you sit down to do that, remember that. What are you doing it for? Right? Ki labna hai. You're trying to connect to that one source. Simple. Right?
So
that's important.
Japna is not the destination. That's only a path. The destination is the awareness. So if doing that japna doesn't lead to awareness, it's not much value.
And
जपते कदी awareness आएगी ना, right? अगर जपेगा नहीं बंदा कदी फिर awareness तो आएगी.
Hanji, that's why it's very important. These mantras, the Gurbani is a mantra. Japna kisnu hai, kisnu leke japna hai, that's so important. Je Ravan ne Shiv ji di bhakti kiti hai, to Shiv ji is already that has that power. Unne onna di bhakti kiti hai, so he got that power. Right? So through whatever the rituals or whatever was told, the practice, right? It's still tapasya, it's called tapasya. But then what it says, it's of no use in the end. You can acquire anything if you want to, as a human, as how your mind is, but of course within your karmas, right? But it's trying to tell you beyond that, what is important as a goal for your why you are here is to merge with that one light, right? To get the mukti. It says that doesn't happen if you do without awareness.
No, you're right completely. That's what we were talking with Arpan last week or two. But just know to see japna hai, वो देख लो कि पहला वो पूरा है और निरंकार है, क्योंकि पूजा खाली निरंकार दी करनी है रब दो, क्योंकि anybody that's in between, they can only give you as much as they have. You love Bill Gates, he can only give you his billions and trillions of dollars, but he cannot give you anything more than that. पर रब नु जपोगे, रब नु याद करोगे through proper Guruji, Nirankar, Mahapurush, then they will only take you to the Rabekar Jithiki. That's the end of it, you know. Arpan Bhai, please feel free to share any thoughts that you may have, you know. It's very open.
I'm just learning and absorbing everything. I'm just grateful to be here and just grateful to listen to everyone. That's thank you.
Thank you, Ji.
No problem. Ji.
So Paulji, it's very important also. It says Kisto Naam Liya becomes very important, right? Satguru. So all this Bani also tells about all this greatness of that, because your mind has to visualize your destination too. Jo pata nahi na, फिर वो मुश्किल भी हो जाती है ना ये, and that's where that humbleness comes to, when you accept that what you are trying to achieve, that everything belongs to that too, right? So I think answers will come through Gubani. If you allow me, I can start.
Continue. Ji.
Okay. Hanji, I saw another comment, Kulvinjari, thank you. Satsang is, whole Sukhmani Sahib Ji is satsang is of great value, because see now what happens, there was somebody, Chusi Kendis in Avatar Ji, like, yes, there had been people who have reached there, but in the end, they just get lost, right? Because, so what is the satsang? Satsang is your way for you to be able to experience and connect internally through others' help too. Because in the satsangat, everybody comes, at least they have that attention and that focus, right? So this, like, their portal increases to connect to that through everybody else too. So that's what's important too. It's not important that after that satsangat, it's not also important, like says inni suni kirtan di parampara chalai hai na, jede kirtaniye in the hazuri of Satguruji, in hazuri of Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, doing kirtan in the prescribed rags, it's of a great value. It is really a great value to connect. It does not matter what is the lifestyle and all of that. It's just moment where you are in that sangat, in that prakash, and everybody's attention to what it is, that just helps you, right? So that's those all help us without us knowing, and there's a lot of those factors. I'll recite this. Shlok Sarguna Nirguna Nirankar Sun Samadhi Aap आपने किया नानका आपे ही फिर जाप. So in this Ashpadi, Sadhguruji is describing the quality of that one existence, and it becomes very hard to understand, because now he's talking about that Sun Samhad and that kind of state, but he's not truly trying to describe that, right? It's Sargun, Nirgun, Nirankar. He's Sargun, he's Nirgun. What does it mean? He's manifested and not manifested too. In one of the time we were discussing, right? Nirgun is there, Gunatu, right? Maya de Lachan, right? It says there are three qualities of Maya, of the existent itself. They are beyond that, Nirgun that, but he's manifested himself in everything too. And we said in the Satguru Wala Jara Ashpadi Sigi, it's clearly written, the Satgurus are the Sargun Sarup of that Nirankar. Right? That Nirankar himself is in that Sargun Sarup. This is, he is manifested in everything. Has everything awakened to that realization? No, but he is Sargun, Nirgun, Nirankar. He's formless. He possesses all qualities. He's above all qualities. Sun samad aap. He himself is in that state of that samadhi, sun samadhi, where there's no sun samad. Sun is devoid of anything, right? You can call it nothingness or you can call it everythingness, but sun is that state of that where nothing else is there, right? For us in the meditation, it's a state people experience when there's no more thoughts, you're just being there. That also is a part, a little bit of that, right? Touch of that sun samadhi. It's a sun samadhi up. He's in that state of that primal extreme. It's supposed to be the highest of the samadhi, the sun samadhi, because then it connects you. It doesn't talk about now nam and other things and all. It's that state of that primal being, right? It's apan kiya nanka ape hi fir aap. Again, re-emphasizing that he has apan kiya, hey Nanak, ape onne sab kuch kita hai, all creation is his. Ape hi fir jap, and he is in his own creation and he's meditating on himself. In a way, telling our mind he's everywhere, right? It's just, that's what it is. Ashpadi जबाकार एह कछना दृष्टेता पाप पुण्य तब कहते होता जब तारी आपन सुन समाध तब बैर विरोध किस संग कमात जब इसका बरन चिन्ह ना जापत तब हरख सोग कहो किसे व्यापत जब आपन आप पार ब्रह्म तब मोह कहा किस होवत परम आपन खेल आप वर्तीजा नानक करने हार ना दूजा. से जब आकार है कचना दृष्टेता पाप पुण्य तब कहते होता. So in a way, Sadhguruji is trying to describe to us the distinction between this world and the things we see around, and even beyond when everything was there, to just give a glimpse of how can that one divine oneness, God, feel. He says, Jab akar ek kichna drishteta, when there was no form, no akar, when this world had not appeared in any form, drishteta, when nothing was to be seen in any form, no forms were there, paap punya tab kehte hota. Then there was nobody committing sins or good deeds. There was nothing to be done. It was that kind of state. Who then committed sins and performed good deeds? That's how it was. And that's the state how he pervades everywhere, every time too. Jab akar ek krishna drishteta paap punya tab kehte, then who was committing sins and performing good deeds? That all came in through this collective mind into what we experience too. Everything is not our own, right? It's through the other collective minds of ages after these forms started. Jab tari apan sun samad, trying to pay attention to that time when God himself was in that profound samadhi, or this time when God is himself in that profound samadhi, the bair birod kis sankamat. If in that state, who would have any hate or jealousy? Whom is it directed to? Jab iska baran chihin na japat, tab harak sog kaho kise vyapat. When there was no rang, baran, color, chihin, no shapes, when you are in that state, when you can experience that state, I mean, it has been translated in the past. I wouldn't want to do the translation in the past. Is in that state when where that existence of that one divine is, right? That realization, like we say, easy to grasp it. You know, there's a waves on the sea and the sea itself. So he's trying to describe that sea state and the difference of the waves on top of it. Just when there was no color or shape to be seen, then harak sog, who is happy or who is sad towards what? Vyapat kisute, who is experiencing vyapat hona? You know, kisute kuch vyapat ho raha hai. जब आपन आप पार भ्रम तब मोह कहा किस होवत परम. Says when he is all by himself, it's just him, then who else do you have attachments? Why there are doubts? There is only one. Apan khel aap vartija, Nanak karne har na duja. And how do you best describe it? It says it's all the drama he has staged in that level of that spirituality. It's seen as a drama staged by that God himself, which we are experiencing. So he himself has staged his own drama. Nanak karne har na duja. He himself has done. Nobody else has done it. There's no other creator.
Meena ji, I have a question, please.
Hanji.
When it all started, when the beginning was there, only Lord himself was there. Why was this creation created to have jealousy, papa, punya? Once the creation was created, only then these things came. But why was this created in the first place? So that we are jealous and not following the path, right path. So it was after the creation. So why was this creation created to have the condition?
See, that why is very important. The thing, what is it's trying to tell, the whole in this pada, what is trying to tell you is in that state, it wasn't there. He didn't create. There's no why to it. He says the drama is his. But he's saying in his state, these don't exist. So now the right question is, how did all of this come into existence? But this pada is trying to give our attention to see it as a mithya, see it as a drama. उन्होंने drama word use किया ना, उन्होंने reality तो नहीं की. Says your whole existence is a mithya. See it as a mithya, and then get to that bliss where all of this is not there. Right? I think we should dwell more into it. Next week, I also have a commitment. I have to leave. Anybody else wants to add something? We're above hour right now.
Yeah, now let's continue next week if that's okay. We'll repeat the same thing, maybe if you want. This way because we did.
We'll do the same pada again. Yeah, we can do that.
Thank you so much, Leena ji.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Leena ji. Thank you, Paul sir. Thank you, everyone.